know to keep an eye out for the chat. Our goals today are threefold. One, we want to introduce you to Maryland Capital Enterprise, demystify the loan process, and give you resources and next steps so that you can take them and apply for a loan if that's what you would like to do. So let's talk a little bit about who we are. I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint now. Can everyone see that?
Yep, it's good.
Fantastic. Okay. So just a little bit about us. Maryland Capital Enterprises is a nonprofit, community development financial institution, and small business administration approved lender. We have offices in both Salisbury on the Eastern Shore and in Baltimore City. We've actually been on the Eastern Shore since 1998 and in Baltimore since 2012. We work with both new and existing businesses, and we provide technical assistance to Maryland's smallest businesses. So that's really at the heart of what we do. And that is everything from helping to create business plans and cash flow projections with a merchant to identifying consultants and to free webinars just like this one. And I'll be talking a little bit more about our upcoming webinars at the end of today. It is good to know that we have the following 4 certifications, which really just means that there's more pots of money for you. And I really want to point out that we have women's business centers also in Salisbury and in Baltimore. And please feel free to check us out at our website at marylandcapital.org. So along with the TA, we also do microlending, which is really what we're all here to discuss. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Background about our small business loans. Our typical loans range from $5,000 to $35,000 for startups and for $5,000 to $150,000 for existing businesses. So when we say startups, we're talking about a new business. So that for us, we define that as any business that has been in existence for less than 2 years. The term varies by loan and is 1 to 10 years, depending on your loan size. The interest rates are currently set at 6 to 12%. Collateral is required for the loan, which is typically something like real estate or a vehicle. Sometimes it can be inventory or equipment. If you're unsure if you have appropriate collateral, feel free to talk to any MCE staff person about that, and we'll be happy to talk that through with you. We can typically be a little bit more flexible on the collateral than a traditional bank can because we are a CDFI. All owners with 20% or more ownership in the business must personally guarantee the loan. This is a personal loan and does go against your personal credit. We do charge a $15 credit check fee per owner and a $100 application fee, but this is not paid for right at the beginning. This is only paid for when we are ready to go to loan process and review. And in addition, you will also have a 1% closing fee and a legal reserve fee from $250 to $1,500, depending on the size of your loan. What's good to know is these last fees can be deducted from your loan at closing. That's a really nice feature. Automatic debit is required for all loans, and you must have a business checking account as well. Also good to know. The first payment is due the month after you receive the funds. I get that question quite a bit. There are no prepayment penalties, which is lovely. If you can just pay as agreed, or you can add in a little bit extra and pay it off early, which is great for us because that means we have more money to lend out to more businesses and help them either expand or create their business. MCE staff conduct site visits to offer resources and support. So our relationship does not end once you receive the loan. We like to keep a relationship with you throughout the lifetime of our loan and beyond, actually, by we want to offer you resources and be there for you to work through any challenges you may have and help your business succeed and thrive. Acceptable loan uses are, but they're certainly not limited to this, build out, furniture, equipment, marketing, I see quite frequently, building purchase, working capital, and more. So if you're not sure about if your loan use would be an acceptable use, this is also something you could talk to any MCE staff member about, and we'd be happy to help you to determine if it's eligible. We also have another loan called a credit builder loan, and this is a smaller loan. It is only an amount from $500 to $5,000. The term can be 1 to 2 years. And what I actually like about this loan is I feel like 3 different types of people actually are attracted to this loan. So one, of course, somebody who wants to and needs to build their credit. But 2, also for someone, because typically we can turn these funds around more quickly than our standard loan. If you have an emergency in your business, God forbid, a pipe breaks in your business and you need the money quickly to repair the pipe, an emergency loan, this is maybe a loan you'd want to consider. And then 3, folks who maybe have a side hustle and have been baking grandma's cupcakes at home and are ready to take it to the next level, but don't want a larger, more traditional loan. This is a loan to consider in that case, and we get a lot of folks who do that. Interest rates are currently set at 9%. Collateral is required, but not encouraged. Oh, and I meant to point out that the 9% interest rate is flat rate for everyone. Everyone gets the same 9%. Okay. Again, just like with our other loan, all owners must personally guarantee the loan if they own at least 20% of the business. The application fee for this is $50, same $15 flat credit check fee for each owner applicant. And then closing costs of $75 can be deducted from the loan at closing, just like with our other loan. Also, you must have an automatic debit and business bank account, no penalties for prepayment. And of course, even though this is a smaller loan, actually, whether you get a loan with us or not, we are more than happy to provide you with all the technical assistance and support we can. The same uses are accepted as with the last loan. Again, if you're not sure, please do not hesitate to contact us about it. I know that's a lot of information. Nick is now going to talk about eligibility criteria, our application process, and next steps. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Donna. So that was really helpful to learn about what our loans are. So now a little bit about what it takes to get one of our loans. So before I go into it, the first thing that is sometimes confusing, but is true, is that application to us does not guarantee approval. So what we're going to try to do is help you get the strongest application package out there, so that the loan committee who makes the decision will hopefully eventually say a yes. So applicants are judged on a few different criteria. The first and very important is the clearly established business idea, and that's through a thorough business plan. And we will offer business plan trainings in the future, or if you want some one-on-one counseling on how to write a business plan, feel free to reach out to either one of us or our main office in Salisbury. We're looking for experience in the field. So, if you're doing something, is it something where you've been working in the field for a while and are ready to go out on your own? Or is it something that's new to you? And if it's new to you, how are you going to gain that experience? Do you have a mentor or some training that you're going to take? We're also going to want to look at the strength of your cash flow. So we're going to ask that you do 2 years of cash flow projections moving forward. And what we want to see is that you're being realistic with how much money is going to come in and how much you're going to spend, to see if you're going to be able to make a profit, pay your employees, and pay yourself. We're going to look for the strength of the collateral. Most of these loans do require collateral, and of course, something like a wholly owned home is the best type of collateral, but we can get pretty creative with what we can use as collateral. One question we get all the time is, what is your minimum credit score? And the answer to that is, we're not really looking just at the number. We don't have a minimum number. But what we're really looking for is, what's been going on for the last 12, 18, 24 months. There are a few disqualifiers. The first one is if you've had a bankruptcy discharged in the last 24 months. And the other one is if you have a tax debt without a payment plan. But really what we're going to be looking for is missed payments, collections, things like that. But just because you have some of those on your score doesn't mean that you are a definite no. If there are things that we would like explanations for, we will give you an opportunity to explain them before we send it to the loan committee. And the reason for that is, number one, we're coming out of a pandemic. That's had a negative impact on a lot of people's credit. And also, something happens like an illness, an unexpected divorce or injury, something like that, that will have a negative impact on your credit. But that's a different borrower than somebody who buys a bunch of TVs on a credit card and doesn't pay them back. And we're able to look at that and see that. We're looking for the general economic conditions for the venture. Is it the right time to open up that business in that place? For instance, if you're opening up a pizza shop and you notice that there are 12 other pizza shops within 2 blocks, you're going to have to explain how there is room for you in that market. And of course, the ability to repay that loan. Can you get back into the workforce, or can you keep your job if the business doesn't work? Next slide, please. Alrighty, so there are a number of documents that are required to get a loan from us or to apply for a loan from us. So the first thing that you'll need to do is go onto our website, marylandcapital.org, and you'll see on the top right-hand side a client intake form that you can click on. Once you fill that out, within 3 business days, somebody from Maryland Capital Enterprises will get in touch with you and start you on your application process. Also online in our loan application section of our website, which is available through the drop down on the top left-hand side of our website, you will find our business application and personal information supplement. The application is where the business is actually making the request for the funds, talks about what they're going to be used for, the ownership structure, collateral, and assets and liabilities. In that, you're going to see a list of required documents, which I'll go over in just a moment. The personal information supplement is really a simplified personal financial statement. You're going to talk about your employment, your residence, your personal assets and liabilities, and your monthly expenses. It's also a place where you can talk about things where you may have some tax debt or things like that with a payment plan. So the supporting documents are the business plan and those cash flows, which we spoke about earlier. The cash flow exercise is pretty detailed, and we are happy to do one-on-one Zooms with you to help you figure out how to do those. If your business has been around long enough, we will need to see a profit and loss statement for at least the last 2 years. Again, if you've been around for 2 years, your most recent quarterly balance sheet, business and personal taxes for 2 years, which we understand that sometimes the business taxes will be part of the personal tax return, and that is a-okay. We're also going to want to see 3 months of personal and, of course, if applicable, corporate bank statements. And then everything else is optional. So if you have reference letters, other attachments like a lease, quotes for a build out, resumes, contracts, licenses, marketing materials, websites, anything like that that you feel can help better tell your story, please feel free to include those in your application. And if they are online, things like commercials on YouTube videos or something like that, providing a link is absolutely okay. Next slide, please. So you've got everything in, you send everything to us. What is next? So once everything's in and we say that the application is complete, that's when we will take your application fee that's normally done over the phone with a credit card. And as Donna described, for a credit builder, it's $50 plus $15 per applicant, and for other loans, it's $100 plus $15 per applicant. We generally like to see applications submitted by the first Friday of the month. We like to make sure that a client intake form has been filled out and an MCE staff member has been assigned to you. So once we look everything over before we give it to the loan committee, we'll give you an opportunity, if we have any recommendations for changes, to make those changes. And then we send everything to the loan committee. They meet in the last week of the month. They make the decision, and their decision is final. If it's a yes, generally loans are funded in 2 to 4 weeks. Right now, we're doing a lot of those virtually. If it is denied, you cannot apply with us for another 12 months. but you can work with us to fix whatever issues so that in 12 months, we hopefully can get you a loan, or if you can find somewhere else to get a loan before that, we can help you, get ready for that as well. Next slide, please. So there are a lot of resources available to you. Being in Maryland, being so close to Washington, D.C. and all those headquarters, there are just tons and tons of small business resources, most of which are absolutely free for you. So of course, we're here offering free technical assistance. We can help you with your business plan and everything else, but take advantage of more than just us. Talk to your local business, local library. Many of them have business centers. In Baltimore City, we do know that the Enoch Pratt Free Library has one at their main office. Talk to your local economic development office. Most counties and some cities have them, and they often have resources that we are unaware of. Also, get involved in your local Chamber of Commerce. Talk to the Maryland Department of Commerce, because they also have resources and tax breaks. The Maryland Small Business Development Center has offices all over the state and offer one-on-one counseling and the same type of help that we do, so that you can get more eyes on your papers and more help getting you to where you need to be. Operation Hope is a great organization based locally, but helps folks nationally. They have training cohorts. They can help you with your cash flows and your business plan. Of course, the SBA offers free webinars and folks that you can talk to. SCORE is a senior corps of retired executives where you can get a one-on-one mentor who understands your industry to help you build your business. Talk to local universities. Many of them have students that could be interns, or they have economic development offices. We work closely with Salisbury University and Morgan State University, but University of Maryland, Coppin, UMES, everywhere will have something that can help you out. And of course, look for your local business organizations. In Baltimore, the Downtown Partnership, or throughout the state on main streets, the Small Business Resource Center and the Small Business Development Center. Especially with these downtown partnerships, downtown organizations and main streets, they're one of the few places where sometimes you can actually get a grant for something like facade improvement as opposed to just a loan. And then also, just always be searching, get on LinkedIn, get on Facebook, get on Twitter, see what's available and take advantage of what's free, because there's just so much out there and it helps you build your network. Also start talking to these folks before you need money so you can develop the relationship so that it makes a yes easier to get to. Next slide, please. So before I wrap up and we go to a question and answers where you can ask specific questions, there are 5 things I like to say just as a reminder when you're applying for capital or starting a business. Number 1, don't quit your day job until your business is fully up and running and it can support you. One thing that we are really concerned about, since we're not just about, getting money in, we're about building community. So we're going to want to make sure that you and your employees can live a good life. So you want to make sure that you have an income stream, even if the business is slow. Number 2, very important, unless you are an accountant, and honestly, even if you are an accountant, you need an accountant. I come from the restaurant world, and I'll tell you one thing, when you're starting a business, you get in the weeds really fast. And it's really easy to miss deadlines for filings, for taxes, and things like that. Having somebody that you pay a little bit of money to be like a 10,000-foot view of your finances helps keep you in good standing so that you're eligible for these loans and when grants are available, these grants. And then also, they can often see things that you might miss just because you're just too busy. Number 3, as I've been saying throughout the whole presentation, ask for help. There are so many free resources available to you. Take advantage of every single one. This is going to help increase your chance of being a successful business. Really important, when you are going to be asking for money, it is not the time to be spending a lot of money. Keep your money in your bank. If you need to buy a house or a car, do those at separate times so you're not applying for a bunch of capital at the same time. What this does not mean is that if you've got a rich friend or relative that can put $50,000 in your bank account so it looks like you got money and then take it back out, that's fraud. So you definitely don't want to do that and end up in jail. And really importantly for building community is that no business is an island. So in addition to taking advantage of all the resources, become a part of your community. If it makes sense, donate to local charities or your local kids sports team. Join your chambers of commerce or your Rotary leagues. Get involved in your Main Street if your business is involved there. And one thing I like to say about charity is you, especially in today's world, you want to make sure to pick things that are not at all political. Things like veterans, children, animals, food pantries, things like that are always really good. It's sort of the same reason why when you go into a bar or a restaurant, sports is always on. Because if they had a news station on, they would alienate half of their customers. If they had Fox News, one group of people wouldn't like it. If they had CNN, another group of people wouldn't like it. So that's why you just put on sports, because that's not going to offend anybody. Think of the same thing when you're donating to charities. And also remember that your local businesses near you are your network. They can be great resources for things that you don't know how to get. Next slide, please.
Oops, let me go back.
That one always goes fast. So what we'll do now is we're going to open it up for any questions that you may have. And then once we're done, Donna's going to talk a little bit about some upcoming trainings that we have. So
Yes.
feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions, or if you don't feel like talking, keep typing them in the chat.
Don't be shy. We really wanted to spend a lot of time answering your questions and having a good discussion.
Oh, talk a bit about the VLT program. I just saw that. So yes, so the VLT, the Video Lottery Terminal, is a pool of money that some of it has been used to help small businesses. 50% of the funds need to be within, I think it's 10 miles of the casino, and the rest of the funds can be used anywhere in the state. So we do get a lot of different pools of money to lend out. And really, the way it works is you apply for a Maryland Capital Enterprises loan. And if you are approved, we're going to go through all the funding pots and find out which one is going to be able to give you the lowest interest rate and the longest term. And the reason we do that is because we want you to have the smallest monthly payment possible. That way, if you have a good month, anything extra you want to put towards it will go towards your principal. This does a couple of things. It makes you pay less interest. It also gets us more money that we can re-lend out to somebody who needs it. So also, if you are in a business that gets, government contracts or something like that, and you borrow $30,000 from us, and then 2 months later you get a huge contract and you want to pay off the loan, you are more than welcome to do that. We'd be happy to have that happen. And probably in the future, if you come back for another loan, that's going to be looked upon pretty positively. But really, when you're applying for funds with us and you're approved, based on what we have available at the time, we're going to get you into the cheapest money with the longest term.
Other questions? They can be specific to your business.
Yeah, yes, we do offer. We are an SBA lender. So we
Yes.
through government agencies, we lend SBA, VLT, occasionally some states offices like Department of Housing and Community Development and Department of Commerce, and then we also raise our own funds to lend out as well.
And then Nick,
So can you apply for a credit builder and a large loan at the same time? Generally, technically, yes, you can. But really what makes the most sense is to work with one of our business consultants and figure out the amount of money you actually need to either start or grow your business and request that amount. If you need $15,000 and you can only get $5,000, if we give you that loan, it's sort of setting you up for failure because you really need that other money. So then not only is your business not working, but you owe $5,000. But if we really do feel like you can get it kicked off with $5,000, then of course that is absolutely an option. Let's see if there are any more questions. Any questions about, uses of funds or anything like that? So they asked if we have an online how to write a successful business plan portal. We do not have a portal online. We absolutely do have a business plan template, which I would be happy to send to you, and we would be happy to talk through with you. You can see my email at the bottom of the page, nrudolph@marylandcapital.org. Please send me an email, and after the presentation, I will get you a copy of that template. What is really important about our template, both for the business plan and for the cash flows, is that they are resources for you, and that your business plan and cash flow absolutely do not need to be in our format. The reason why we give them to you, especially the business plan template, is it's broken out like a outline, and it has a lot of questions that we have heard the decision makers ask. So you're able to go through it and say, you know, does this question impact my business? And if it does, am I answering it somewhere in my plan? Because often with different types of businesses, it makes sense to rearrange the plan differently than we have. And same thing with the cash flow projections. If you're working on QuickBooks, or if you have an accountant, yours won't look like ours, and that is absolutely okay.
Also wanted to add that we will assist with business plans. We will work with you to get it to where it needs to be. You do not have to apply for a loan with us in order to get this assistance, and it is absolutely free.
Yep, that is absolutely key as well. Even if you think you're never going to apply for a loan for your business, our technical assistance services are here for you to use for free. So please take advantage of them. You know, even if you're working with another lender, we're still here to help you out.
Nick, could you go into more details about what the funds can be used for?
Absolutely, absolutely. So really any business related expense. So as long as you are an approved business type, which means, generally the things that we can't do are things that are what they used to call the sin industry, adult bookstores, only liquor stores, only tobacco stores, things like that. We also can't do medical marijuana. And if you're in sort of the building flipping, that can get a little bit hairy. So it's best to talk to us offline about that. But once you're in a business, really any business related expense you can use. So you can use that for, lease or purchasing a building for your business, for vehicles for your business, equipment for your business, build out, salaries, working capital, which is just money that you need to keep your business going. There are very few things that are business related that we could not use. And the only ones that really pop off on the top of my head is if you are a home-based business, you can't use our loan funds to pay for a portion of your rent, utilities, or mortgage. But if other than that, if you're using it for your business, it's generally going to be okay. What other resources do we have? So if you need help with a specific thing like marketing, check out and see if we have a upcoming webinar. Sign up for that for sure. But really, sign up with MCE and the Women's Business Center. Talk to the counselors, and we might be able to, either give you the resources that we have, or hook you up with somebody who's a professional who can help you out. All right. Any other questions?
Yes. Are we all virtual, or are there office hours?
Yes. So there are office hours. Because we are often going to visit our businesses, it's best to schedule time with us. So email us. The Salisbury office is of course located in Salisbury. And then our office is located on Harford Road near a Cold Spring in Baltimore. And it's, we're happy to set up an in-person meeting or do it virtually.
I always think of my best questions like afterwards. So, if you do think of something after, don't hesitate to reach out to any MCE staff member. Both Nick and I will be happy to help you with anything that comes to mind.
So what do the visits to the business consist of? So it depends on what it's for. So sometimes we will come up and do a visit on the request of the business owner. So we're talking about whatever they want to talk about. The site visits that we have once you have gotten your loan, when we come by twice a year, We will send you basically a question form to fill out ahead of time, just to talk about sort of what's going on in your business. And then we're going to ask for the same documents that you submitted with your application. So profit and loss, quarterly balance sheet, if there've been new taxes, things like that. And what we do is we go over everything, make sure everything is going according to plan, or if it's not, we can talk about ways that we can make changes. It's an opportunity for us to tell you about any other resources we may have, or if we see any sort of hurdles coming down the lane, to get ready for them so that we can surpass them. But if you have a specific request for a visit, we're more than happy to come talk about anything. Sometimes folks even just want to talk about their business in general and just vent. We're here for that as well.
Mm-hmm. Another chat question. Oh, okay.
Alrighty, so it looks like
Wait.
explain.
Entrepreneur certificate. Are you speaking about like the MVE, WBE, Women's Business Enterprise?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
I'm not sure. Do you mean it's a certificate? Oh, it's on our website. Entrepreneur certification. I don't know. I mean, unless they're talking about the online training that we have, the
Oh, for that must be for MCE online.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So there is a class on our website called MCE Online that's got a first steps in starting a small business. Has multiple sections. So once you complete that, you're able to work virtually with some counselors. And then, once that's complete, I think that's when the certificate comes into play. It is not required for any of our loan products.
Bunky, do you have anything to add to that?
No, he pretty much summed it up. It's a course basically that goes through everything that we think that you should know before going into business, and just a lot of good information, a lot of videos, and I think it's really helpful to a lot of people. I mean, there's so many things going on when you're starting a business that there's always something that falls through the cracks, and it's just a guide.
Right. And I want to point out also that it's free and you can use it at your own pace, at your own leisure.
That's correct.
Yep. And as things are opening up more, we're going to start doing those classes live and in person as well. So it's just sort of an opportunity for folks who can't either make it to Baltimore or Salisbury to get the same type of training.
Yeah, and that might be we do if you complete the course in its entirety, we do send out a certificate. So that might be what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, it is not at all required for any of our products. It's just another resource to help you with your business. All righty. So it seems like the questions. Oh. So yes, we do occasionally, if you look at our education series, we do occasionally have folks from the SBA to come and talk about all the programs that they have. Also, if you email us, we can get you hooked up to webinars that the SBA puts out on their own out of the Maryland office, so that you can join those directly and talk to those folks. They generally do those about once a month.
And there are some actually coming up in the next couple of months. So definitely be on the lookout for those.
Actually, there's quite a few of them, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we do provide guidance for fleshing out a business idea. We do expect that you're going to be more of an expert in your field than we are, just because we're not business owners and we probably don't know your field. But what we can do is sort of help by asking questions about how the business will generate revenue, how you'll build a client base, who your target customer is, things like that, for any type of business. And if we get to a point where it's something that we don't know, we will find a free resource for you to help with that. I am in the Baltimore location.
Baltimore.
Yeah, but I can work virtually with folks, all over our service area.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're
we
welcome.
really are a team here. So to schedule an appointment, the first thing you should do is fill out a client intake form on our website. Then somebody will contact you directly to schedule a time to talk. And generally at that point, we talk to you about the loan process or whatever you need, and then we schedule a longer meeting if we need to do cash flows or business plans or something like that. And let me see, if you hold on one moment, I will get the link to the client intake into the chat.
Okay, great. Any other questions? I think we can move on. If we get a few more, we can certainly answer them in the later slide. Oh, wait, here's one more. Yes, just the one time. You fill out the client. Do we fill out the client intake form just the one time? Yes.
The office in Salisbury is located at 314 Civic Avenue, kind of via the what's that? The convention center.
Thanks, Rochelle.
Yep, Twilly Center. That's what it is.
Is it called the Twilly Center, like Lisa Twilly?
It is
I
not
did not
named
know
after
that.
her, but we can pretend.
Our coworker's named
Yep.
Lisa Twilly, so
Yep, she runs the Women's Business Center down in Salisbury.
she's the director. Yeah.
Yep. And honestly, we are always happy to come to you. You guys are running businesses, so we want to make it as easy as possible for you guys, to get these services. Alrighty, well, I guess while folks might be thinking of last minute questions, Donna, you want to go over the upcoming trainings?
Yeah.
Sorry, can I ask another quick question? I think it got missed in the chat.
Oh,
I was
no, go
asking,
ahead.
do you all provide any assistance with finding grant resources in addition to loans?
So, we are more than happy to help you look. But right now, really, other than facade improvement grants and occasionally small pools of money from like a Bank of America or Wells Fargo or something like that pop up, quickly and disappear quickly, I don't know of any grants that are available. But definitely, we're more than happy to talk to you about, possible facade improvement grants if your jurisdiction has those.
Mm-hmm. When we do have grants, we also notify our clients and folks. So, okay, so I wanted to remind everyone about our free upcoming trainings, and all you need to do is go to our website, and they're listed under our education services. But these are just a few of our upcoming ones, and I really wanted to point out some of them. The basic business finances part 2. Don't let the part 2 fool you. You can still attend this one. It's in its entirety, and you won't be missing out anything. There's a great dynamic speaker who really knows her stuff. So if you have any questions about, as a business owner, financially, what you should be doing, this is your session. And then, of course, we have our ongoing sessions here about using QuickBooks, so we can take you all the way from a beginner to something a little bit more advanced. But so I hope you join us for one of these or upcoming sessions. I would encourage everybody to check back often, as we're constantly adding new classes all of the time. I think we have a couple more questions. Oops. I'll go back. Okay, I see. Oh, great. Our coworker Rochelle has put her information in here. She is one of our Salisbury Eastern Shore contacts, and she's also great to work with. There she is. Say hi, Rochelle.
Hi, everybody.
Yes. And I would like to do a quick shout out to the rest of the NCE staff that are on here. Thank you so much for being here and supporting us. Any other questions? I also want to remind folks that you will be receiving an email from us with an evaluation, right, Blunky? And all
That's
we
correct.
ask is that you return that evaluation. We will make sure that you get a copy of the presentation. And also at that time, let us know if there's anything else you need.
All righty.
Nick, any last thoughts?
No, I really appreciate you all taking your lunch break to come out and learn more about, what we do and how to apply for funding. As Donna said, we all think of our best questions as soon as these things end. So feel free to reach out to any of us directly, and we're more than happy to answer those questions.
Yes, and I also want to thank you for your time and your attention this afternoon. I'm looking forward to working with you. And please, from everyone here at Maryland Capital Enterprises, our whole family, we appreciate you and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.